Alright, it's the Smart Notebook version of test corrections. Number one was actually on the test review, and there's one trick on number one, that all of these loans have a months on them instead of years. Banks do that a lot to keep you from thinking through things, but you divide by 12 because there's 12 months in a year. So 18 months is 1.5 years, 30 months is 2.5 years, 24 months is 2 years, and 36 months is 3 years. Other than that, it's just multiplying principal times rate divided by 100 times time. But the less amount of time you borrow money, the cheaper it's going to be for you. Banks don't want to give you money long term. It's better to get a short-term loan if you have to get one so you can pay it off. So the one with the least amount of months, 18 months, is the lowest rate. So the answer one was A. Number two, well, all four of these pictures are showing you the same thing. And the vocabulary word is alternate exterior angles. They're on the opposite side of the transversal, the line that crosses, and they're on the outside of the parallel lines. So they're all congruent. All these are congruent. So it's 4 examples. I don't like the problem because it's 4 pictures of the same principle. There's only one with an X on, and I've circled that for you. X is 79. They're both acute angles. They're both exactly the same. Should have been an easy problem to see that the answer is 79. Number 3 was also a really easy problem. To find the interest on a simple interest, it's principal times rate times time. The answer was F. Number 4. Well, number 4 was, it's kind of a different kind of a problem that I couldn't prepare you for. It's how much it would cost you to go to college for 1 year. Well, it tells you the rate, $19,700, and it tells you your grandparents are paying half. So I divided that by 2, and I got $98.50. And that's how much the student would still have to pay. And it's always good to get an athletic scholarship for being good at sports. $5,000 off. Now you've only got $4,850 to pay. And it says how much would you have to save every month to pay it off in 12 months. So you'd have to divide by 12. And the answer was A. Number 5 was a little bit of work. Quite a bit of work. So Nick's putting money in 2 different accounts. Account number 1 is right here. How's this for pretty highlighting? Account number 1 is right there. And it is pretty simple. Now the only thing that you could make a mistake is it's asking for the total balance. And if you find the simple interest, you get $28. He's going to get more than $28 back after putting it in there for 2 years. He's also going to get his principal back. So if you notice at the bottom of the page, I'll point at it. At the bottom of the page, I added a 28 plus the 400. So on the first deposit, he's going to get $428 back. The second formula has an A for total. And so that one is going to give you the total amount. So the second part of his deposit, account 2, is going to give him $266.51. And then to solve it, you add those two together. Yeah, that problem was a little bit of work. Number 6 is pretty easy. I've marked the angles for you. So it was just kind of a vocabulary lesson and explain to you why we knew this. But the remote exterior angle is the same as the sum of the two interior angles farthest away. So in example 1, 40 plus 90 does equal 130. Here's another example. 70 plus 70 equals 140. Here's another example. 35 plus 120 equals 155. So in the last one, to find W, all you had to do was add 45 and 60. So W is 105. Correct answer was G. Number 7, I haven't done any pre-work there. Let me pause it and do some work for you first. All right, number 7 was very straightforward because it's asking for the balance or total amount. I'm going to highlight her back again. Balance of the account, and A is the total balance. So you just had to use the compounded formula, and you get F. Number 8 is another one of those problems about paying for college. I'm going to pause again. All right, so on number 8, it's $21,300 for the first year. You're going to subtract $8,000. That's the parents are going to pay that part. Track scholarship, you're going to subtract. And so now you're down to $6,800. And you're paying it out over 12 months. So the last step would be to divide by 12. And you're going to have to save up $566 a month. All right, in question 9, Mr. Flores opened an account, put a deposit in his account of $5,000. And the account earned annual simple interest for 4 years. Now this is different because it did not tell you the rate. Well, you're still going to do it the same way. You're going to write the formula. You're going to put what you know. In this case, you know the interest is $1,500. You know the principal. You know the time in years. You just don't know the rate. So I'm going to do the 5,000 times 4. And that gives me 20,000. And so now it's a one-step equation because it's 20,000 times R. So I'm going to divide both sides by 20,000. It's a little bit of a tricky problem. You're going to end up with an answer that is 0.075, which is the same thing as... Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh no. Wait for it. B. B. All right, question number 10. Holly has a choice here with her loan of $10,000. She can either take a 4-year loan at 4% simple interest, or she can take a 6-year loan at a 5% interest. So it should be a pretty easy choice for Holly. It's a difference between paying $1,600 and $3,000. And difference in math means subtract. So it's 3,000 minus 1,600. And that is a big difference. Holly should definitely pay it off in 4 years. She's saving, she's almost doubling what she would have to pay for another year or 2. You want to get a short-term loan, not long-term. Number 11, something from the beginning of the year. 96 square feet. The opposite of square is square root. So all you have to do is find the square root of 96, which is 9.8. If you're trying to find the side length of a square, use the square root. It even has the word square inside of it to let you know that's what to do. That is the definition. Square root, square side. Same thing. Okay, a lot of people miss number 12. Now I had to go old school because I don't have a calculator, or I could have popped one up and did stat edit to show you. But the rate of y, it's going down 3, and the rate of x is going up 5, and negative 3 divided by 5 is negative 0.6. So some of you did not bubble in the negative on number 12, and some of you put the decimal in the wrong place. Negative 0.6, not 0.06. What is the y-intercept? Well, it's there it is right there. When x is 0, y is 9. Duh. Is that rude? Alright, I gave everybody credit on this problem. Remember, e on your calculator means exponent. So, if you notice, I wrote it bigger and I moved it back 3 places. So it would be 2.54 times 10 to the negative third, because it's a small number. I'm moving it back. Big numbers have a positive exponent, small numbers have a negative exponent. Well, I'll give you a sneak peek of number 15, but the rate of change is 5 divided by 4, which is 1.25, and I actually I got a calculator because I didn't want to do it old school, and I found out that the y-intercept is 1.25. Or I'm sorry, slope is 1.25, and I found out the y-intercept is 10. So when x is 0, y would be 10. Alright, make sure you write test corrections 15, 16 on the top.